Okay, it's 10:03. 10:04 is projected, guesstimated high slack. So we're gonna try Tiputa Pass here and see how it looks. If it doesn't look good, we're gonna bail out and go back and anchor till tomorrow. But we shall see. Okay, so we're trying to navigate the Tiputa Pass here. These passes can get pretty gnarly because the tide flows in and out of the lagoon in these atolls, and the currents can get pretty strong. In addition to having a lot of turbulence, it can affect your ability to steer, as well as if the current's going out like it is right now, and there's swells coming in, you get standing waves, and they can get really bumpy coming out. We had 3.5 knots coming at our head as we went in through Avitoro Pass when we came into the lagoon. Now on our way out, we have about 1 knot of water behind us, but these waves and swells that are meeting this current that's coming out of the atoll is making things pretty bumpy. So that's why we have these waves, why you're seeing the bow get bashed around a little bit of a bumpy ride. But we didn't have any problems maintaining steerage, and we stalled a little bit as we plowed into some of these waves, but we were able to keep our speed up as well. We just shot Tiputa Pass there. Another boat going in. We had just a little bit of outgoing tide with us, and it was bumpy. Well, the good news is we didn't have like a strong current that was stopping us, so we may have had a little bit of tailwind actually with a little bit of outgoing current. So that's okay. I think we're actually expecting a little bit more incoming current. So these rains and everything else, it's just a guess anyways, but I think Tiputa's was pretty bouncy coming in. There were some standing waves, but because we didn't have, we didn't stop and we were able to maintain steerage, I wasn't like freaking out or anything like that. I've seen it way worse at that pass. So we're out, and I think we're going to be motoring quite a bit, but adios, Rangiroa. Adios. Fuck yeah. Chance of thunderstorms is supposed to dissipate this afternoon. I mean, it's only a little bit after 11, and we've got this, looks like we've got this cell in front of us. So we'll have to make a decision. It's kind of coming straight at us, maybe a little bit on our port side. So we'll have to make a decision whether to plow through it or to go to starboard a little bit and dodge it. So far, I haven't seen the winds get up above, really 18 knots. To see this, for these local ones that have come through. Starting to get into the squall zone. We'll see how much rain we get. I'm trying to thread the needle right here in between this and this over here. We're gonna get some rain, but that's all right. We had a bunch of bird crap on the boat, and I tried to do a once over with the mop, but didn't have fresh water to rinse it, and I didn't want to put salt water on everything. So a little fresh water rinse isn't gonna hurt us too much. Although we've got a 15 knot headwind right now, which is slowing us way down. Starting to feel a little bit of rain now, but we're out of the worst of it. You can see it's hitting Rangiroa over there pretty good. Most of it's over to port. So we're getting ready to make our turn at Rangiroa. There's another atoll, another Tuamotus, which we can't see from here. It's not far away though. Tikihau. We're gonna cut in between. the two Tuamotus, and then from there it's we'll go by Papeete. We'll swing past it at night likely, and then straight shot to Tahiti, to Papeete. Looked at predict wind at the most recent forecast models, and all of them pretty much say we're not going to have any wind for the next couple of days. So I'm expecting to motor. Now I'm pushing a little bit faster, 2,000 RPMs. We just have 200 miles. I put 50 gallons in the tank in Rangiroa, and I've got another 20 on deck. So we could actually push a little bit harder and we'd have plenty of fuel. So we're gonna be motoring. The challenge here is we're kind of in between a couple of the atolls, a couple of Tuamotus here. And until we get past this pass in between them, I'm not gonna take a nap or anything like that. I wanna stay up just because there isn't a lot of distance between them. And then once we get past them, we get a little bit more sea room, then I'll start my nap schedules. The plan is, since today's Saturday, is to arrive Monday morning and be in a position to where we can start entering passes through reefs and things like that at Papeete, and see if we can score a slip or a mooring. Later this week, and this is part of what drove me, I was debating whether to leave today or tomorrow, because we did have a little bit of rain and stuff going on this morning, is there's a low that's coming up under Tahiti, under the Societies later this week. And I want to get in and I want to get it settled before this weather gets here. Land ho. The port, we've got Rangiroa still within our sight. And the starboard, I can now see Tikihau over here. These Tuamotu islands are all atolls, so they're very flat, not much elevation. Can be difficult to even catch on radar sometimes. We've got about a half knot current, maybe a hair more actually, coming between these two atolls, slowing us down. Wind's not really doing much for us. We kind of knew that, but I went ahead and put the second reef in the main, as we do for our night configuration, since sunsets usually around 6:15 or so, pretty close to the equator, so we run about 12-hour days. So the sun will be going down a little bit. I put a little heat on the motor just to try and get us out of this current a little quicker. Good morning. It's about 10 till 6 a.m. Sun is just starting to rise. This is pretty much the scene we had all night. Motor sailing, double reefed main, and right now we've actually got about 5 knots on the nose, slowing us down just a little bit. Winds are going to be light and variable for the next 24 hours at least. So we expect to continue motor sailing the rest of the way in. We are past Papeete, and I believe I can actually see it now. Couldn't see it when it was dark out. So they actually have like 5 moorings. They say 4 of them are usable, so I don't know which one is not good, but they're free, first come, first serve, which is pretty cool. A little bit after 10 o'clock. You know what that sound is? That's the sound of us sailing without the motor. We're up in the 5s. We've got just about 10 knots true. I don't know how long this is gonna hold, but we are gonna sail as long as we can maintain this speed. just got the best nap, but we are going slow now. I think our wind may have died down a little on us. It's right off our beam. We're doing about 4 knots. We need to go a little faster, so we're gonna go ahead and fire her back up and start motoring again. We're motoring. The faint little breeze we had starting to creep behind us a little bit. So it looks like the Geno is gonna go in and the staysail. 3 o'clock update. We continue to motor sail. So I'm really excited. I just called Marine Papeete, and they said they have 2 slips open. It's first come, first serve, but I think the odds that they'll be open first thing in the morning, considering it's already 3 o'clock this afternoon. So I don't want to, you know, count my chickens or whatever. I'm pretty excited at the prospects of getting a slip. Be the first time I've had a slip since the short kind of be the first time I had a slip since I was in La Cruz, and the last time I was in La Cruz in the slip, I was down on my ass with the flu pretty hard right before I left. So I'm really excited to get in and get tied up and get a little bit of R&R and fix a few things on the boat, have the Admiral come in. I still have another 60 nautical miles to go to Tahiti itself, and then another 15 or so after that. About 20 till 5, engines off. We've got almost 9 knots of wind, and we're doing about 4 knots speed over ground. That's about the speed that we want, given the distance that we have to go in. Now we are 51.8 nautical miles from our waypoint outside Tahiti. This 3 knots is pretty peaceful, even though we're not moving fast. Bouncing between 3 and 3.5 knots. It's a little over 7 knots of wind. It's nice and quiet. Not quite sunset, but we are all reefed in. Pretty close. Still those clouds in front of me. I'm still trying to tell if any of that's land or if it's just all cloud. Good morning. It's about 4:15. So we kind of laid over, we just kind of drifted slowly for about the last hour and a half or so, just so we could make landfall at during daylight hours. We just had the sailing school ship, the Robert C. Siemens, pass in front of us, and we've got another sailboat that looks like they were doing the same thing. They were kind of drifting and just made underway. So we've got about 14 miles to our waypoint, about a little under 25 miles to go. So take us about 5 hours, 9, 10 o'clock. By 10, hopefully we'll be all tied up and everything like that. But I wanted a little bit more daylight, just as we're gonna, you know, do a reef pass and all this other stuff. Look at this radar picture. So this up at the top is land. This over towards the right and behind us is all rain. So we may get dumped on coming in. We still have 14 total miles to go. And this over to starboard, this is all rain showing up on radar. And then over to port, it's pretty clear. Behind us there's a couple of good ones. We're getting hammered now. We got this kind of a strong cell right in front of us. So we'll just roll through it. We don't really have much of a choice. I'm hoping this rain lets up. I'm hoping this rain lets up before we try and enter the harbor. I think this tall island here is Moorea. Port control, port control. This is sailing vessel Keeldragger. Sailing vessel Keeldragger.
Station call port control, good morning.
Good morning, this is sailing vessel Keeldragger. I'm requesting permission to enter the harbor at Tupa Papeete. My destination is Marine Papeete. Over.
Okay, where you come from?
I came from Rangiroa.
whatever.
I'm sorry, I didn't copy that.
Okay, what is your present position? You're in the open sea?
I am about 10 minutes away from Tupa Papeete. I'm just right outside.
Okay, call me back 5 minutes before the entrance.
Okay, I'll call you back in 5 minutes. So I see the Armeti 5 just exited. Over.
Okay, confirm you're going to Papeete Marina.
That's affirmative, that's correct.
Okay, just before, can you spell the name of your ship, please? Okay, I received you very bad. Okay, I can see you from the watchtower. For information, we have the tug, Papeete boat tug going outside, just to be careful of the traffic. And please standing by on channel 12.
Okay, I'll stand by on 12, so I'm okay to proceed after this tug, correct?
After the tug.
Okay, perfect. Keeldragger standing by on 12.
Yes, stand by on 12 and inside the harbor, keep the right of the fairway. Keep the right of the fairway.
Copy that, right of the fairway. Look at that. The Eagle has landed. This was the least eventful passage we've had yet. The tie-up was a little wonky because the dock's kind of moving. There's a little bit of a current here, and there's a little bit of wind pushing me away from the dock. Not a lot of room, but no big deal. We're all tied up, and I'm going to go check in with the office and make it official and see how bad the damage is going to be. Everybody. This episode marks the culmination of the second phase of the Great Pacific Adventure. The first phase, if you've been following along, was to sail from San Pedro, California, Los Angeles Harbor, down to La Cruz, Mexico, down the coast of Baja, and then cruise the Sea of Cortez a little bit, and then back to La Cruz in Banderas Bay near Puerto Vallarta. So I did that every one of those legs during that that first mission with crew. So my buddy Andy sailed with me down from Ensenada to La Cruz. Chris sailed with me from La Cruz to Mazatlan. Bill sailed with me from Mazatlan across the Sea of Cortez to La Paz. Scott joined me for some local cruising in La Paz. David joined me in La Paz and sailed with me back down to La Cruz, and of course Debbie the Admiral has joined me in La Cruz as well as La Paz, and my good friend Jason, who came down right as I was getting prepared to head to French Polynesia. So I've had a lot of support and a lot of friends along that first part of the journey. This is the second phase that we're bringing to an end, and that was the solo mission from Banderas Bay or Puerto Vallarta down to French Polynesia. So it was over 3,000 miles single-handed to get to Nukuhiva in the Marquesas. That was our first landfall. The last episode I posted the solo mission from the Marquesas to Rangiroa in the Tuamotus archipelago, and this installment is from Rangiroa and the Tuamotus to Tahiti and the Windward Society Islands. So we've sailed over 4,000 nautical miles solo, in addition to the 2,000 nautical miles that we did with crew before that. And we are maybe just barely halfway, maybe a little over halfway of the total miles we're going to do for the Great Pacific Adventure. So I've got crew for the next two big legs. My friend Tuck from Sailing Chaos is flying in next week. He's going to sail with me here from Tahiti to Honolulu, Hawaii, and that's going to be roughly 3 weeks at sea, give or take. And then we'll do a quick reprovision, repair, and relax in Hawaii for a few days, a week or so, however long we need. And then my buddy Andy is going to come back on Keeldragger again, and he is going to sail with me from Hawaii back to California. So Tuck on Sailing Chaos, Andy Sailing Soleil. If you haven't subscribed or checked out their channels, check them out. They're both good guys. They've got a lot of great content, but I couldn't be any more excited about the mission and getting home. My first thought is I didn't spend enough time in French Polynesia. 90 days is not enough. My second thought is I'm gonna have to plan to come back. It's as simple as that. It's just been absolutely amazing.